Well, hey folks, Relaunch Super German my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax 28 Night 5 event. Fun show, took place at Korakuen Hall, Kevin Kelly, Rocky Romero on commentary, and I'm going to be doing all these reviews as quickly, and they'll go up as quickly after the event as I'm able to upload them, with the exception of July 30th edition. I've talked about it before, but for those that missed it, that one will probably go up sometime, probably about 8 hours after the event due to work. I'm going to have to watch it in chunks, but I will update you guys if any of the reviews are going to be on delay. So, 10 matches, 5 tag matches as typical, and some of those tag matches, hyping up matches, are going to happen in the B block on night 6. And then, of course, you're going to have the flip side. Tag matches will hype up more A block matches for night 7. They'll be happening on Sunday. And some good A block action tonight. But first, let's get to those tag matches. And again, want to thank you guys for really appreciating my New Japan reviews. I really do appreciate it. Had it not been for myself starting to review New Japan, there's no way my channel will be nearly as active, at least as far as solo videos I do. So I really do appreciate that you guys love what I have to provide on this great company. Even with some of the storylines where it makes me go, they still provide some great in-ring action. Anyway, Hanari and Shota Umino versus Zack Sabre Jr. and Taka Michinoku. I wonder which team's going to win. I forget how Taka exactly says it. I'm trying to learn that, but I'm not very good at learning the Japanese. Of course, Sabre Jr. and Taka Michinoku got the victory. Hanari continues to shine. Shota Umino's getting a lot better. Of course, he's young lion, still a few years away from really getting onto big cards in a bigger role at least, but he's going to be a pretty good star. And of course, his dad's a ref. So he obviously respects business and he's, taking his beatings and getting better. And he's really improving. You can see it even from earlier this year, even from a few months ago. Him, Ren Narita, and a couple other young lions are getting a whole lot better. It's really nice to see these guys grow and just get better with each passing match. So yeah, nice little opener. Sabre Jr. and Taka get the victory. Duh. And then Yano and Gedo replacing Jado. Hopefully he's okay. I didn't hear anything about an injury. I didn't hear why he got replaced. I'm not sure. He was moving a little gingerly in the previous tag match, so maybe he was injured again. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully it's precaution. But it was Yano and Gedo versus Kota Ibushi and Yujiro Takahashi. I don't know who the woman was that was with Yujiro, a beauty like he always has with him. It was hype for Yano versus Ibushi, which is going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting match. Good work. Pimp Juice, Spike DDT, got the victory for Yujiro as he pinned Gedo. Big shock. It was a fun little tag match. It wasn't anything special. None of these, some of these tag matches, some of them are fun and worth seeing. Some of them are okay. If I miss them, I didn't miss anything big. But there are nice little tidbits, nice little ways to hype up these matches for future future block action. And then Juice and Finlay. Finn Juice is Eric Hall versus Naito and Sonata. I mean, come on. One, Naito. You think Naito's a little over with the crowds, especially in Korakuen Hall? I think so. When Naito appears, you would think there's about 5,000 people there. They really do react like crazy. I mean, it's amazing. And Sonata, I want to know what Sonata's secret is for that hair, because he's able to make his hair still able to look great despite all the, great moves that he does. Not that I have to worry necessarily about hair, as I don't really want to have hair that long or even close to that long again, but I'm just kind of curious. So, hyped up for Naito versus Juice Robinson, which is going to be very interesting, and Naito goes after Juice's previously injured hand. Well, currently injured hand, but it's healing. Juice's bone is set. Have fun, again, unseeing that. And, okay, what's going to happen? Is he going to damage it further? Is Juice going to have to continue to work with this handicap because he can't use the cast in matches? Which I don't know why before the bell rings he doesn't just hit somebody with a cast. Because it's before the match, so technically he can't get DQ'd. But, he's a babyface, so I guess he wouldn't be doing that. But it's going to be interesting because Juice, he's not going to go winless in the G1, but it's going to be interesting because he's going to have some challengers lined up, and maybe in September he gets his hand, gets cast taken off, it's a nice little story and everything. he is obviously working legit hurt, but good on Juice for continuing to work hard. Anyway, so yeah, focused on the hand. Of course, Naito just being great as always. Sonata being super skilled. Skull on Finley for the win. Fun little tag match. Told a good story of Naito going after Juice's hand to just set up things for later. And then Kenny Omega and Chase Owens versus Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. I don't even know why they bother with tags in this. I honestly don't, because this should have just been like a flat-out war. It is hyping for Omega versus Tama Tonga on night 6. It's going to be great. Brawl immediately. Should have just been a brawl. Should have just been a brawl. No tags. There was no need to do any tags. I'm not going to call the move what Tonga Loa actually calls it, but a Tongan driver is what I'll just call it. And on Owens for the win. Owens and Gato, I swear, are in a competition to determine who can take the more pins in tag matches, and Finley's not very far behind that either. But everybody has roles, especially when it sets up for the block action. If you're not in the G1, in the G1A block or the B block, or Finley would say the C block, him and Hanari are in the unofficial C block where they're going to face off on August 11th, I believe. Unofficial. Which it is. I mean, it's just fun. But you can see these two in a G1 maybe next year, maybe in 2020. But Tama Tonga Loa got the victory. They had to. Of course, Owens was the only one here that could take the goddamn pin. Because of what they're building with the Firing Squad, the OG Bullet Club, and the Golden Elite. Owens is going to be collateral damage here, so to speak, and take the pin, as he should have. And then you're gonna then a couple gun stuns, that kind of stuff. Of course you're gonna get that, like Tama Tonga laying out Kenny. I think there is a chance that he could beat him, and the only reason I say that is if he beats him, then it sets up a nice little thing where, hey, maybe he could challenge him before Wrestle Kingdom. I don't think Tama Tonga is going to win the IWGP heavyweight title, but I think he can win the U.S. title from Juice. There's a lot of different ways they could go on a lot of these shows. Goto and Yo-Yo Goto, which again sounds like a bad yogurt brand, and Tomohiro Ishii, I tend to screw that up, sorry, and the show Pitbull. And it was hype for Goto versus Ishii, which I can't wait for, and they just were hammering the piss out of each other. I'm actually amazed that they didn't just hammer each other, to the point where they just started hammering each other backstage. And it just left Sho and Yo there to fight. Because actually that would have been kind of funny if they would have fought backstage, Goto and Ishii, and then just fought back out instead of doing their normal entrances when they have their match tomorrow. Roppongi 3K, the boys are scuffling and having some good moves here. They understand it's all about business, and they did pretty well. Vertical drop brainbuster. I don't know what the actual full name of it is. There's an actual special name for Ishii's finisher, but he got the victory. Good stuff. And it hyped up very nicely for Goto versus Ishii. And now we get to the block matches. This is one where I took a bit, and if you guys check out my Twitter feed, you'll see, but I took a bit of a tweet break when Michael Elgin and Jay White fought. You guys know I don't really care for Michael Elgin. I don't. I'm not going to say the guy isn't a good athlete, because he is a very good athlete. I got my reasons. I was hoping Jay White would beat him. Fortunately, Jay White did beat him, but you had, power versus heel tactics. Elgin's freakishly strong and pretty agile, I won't deny that. It was outside quickly. You had rib focus by Jay. He was trying to make it where, hey, that way Elgin can't do his power moves if he can't breathe very well. If he can't get a full breath, he's not going to be able to do that and, do the moves. Elgin was still able to do the moves. He really hasn't been selling that whole thing with the bicep from, either night 1 or night 2. I think it was night 1, actually. Hasn't really been selling that all that much, and he seemed to be focused on a whole lot. I thought that was going to be more of a story, but who knows? A lot of chops, a lot of suplex spots. Good stuff though, good pace. I actually was worried Elgin was going to get the victory here, and to be honest, with the pace where it was going, if Elgin had beaten Jay White, it would have been a shocking victory, but it would have almost undercut Jay White. And I get it with the G1, they're shocking victories. People are going to win. are going to shockingly win matches, shockingly lose matches. And that's what it's all about. And it's about setting up stuff for the next few months into Wrestle Kingdom. But after Jay White beat Okada and Tanahashi, heel tactics or not, if he lost to Elgin, that would have been a step down. Jay White's probably going to lose his next match, or at least match 5 and 6 that he has. That's not going to take away from Jay White. And again, if he wins G1, I will be very, very surprised. I don't think he will. He could make it to the finals. I don't know if he will, but he will have it. He's had a very hot start and will no doubt shine and win a G1, if not this year, which I don't think so. 2019, 2020 is very likely. Ref bump. And I knew it. The instant, Elgin tried picking him up for a powerbomb. Jay White managed to get the ref, and, the ref took a bump. And then, of course, all kinds of shenanigans, and then Blade Runner for the win. And Jay White won, so he has 6 points now, and that's good. And Elgin, I believe, has 2 or 4. I'm going to start writing these down as we get to about beginning of August. I'm going to write down these points and just, to remember this stuff, because it's hard to keep track of. But anyway, Yoshihashi versus Minoru Suzuki. Yoshihashi went right after Suzuki at the opening bell. Yoshi wants to die, but that's okay. He didn't die, actually. He got beat up pretty badly, but he did pretty well. I would have been very shocked if he had beaten Suzuki. I wouldn't have been opposed to it. I just would have been very shocked. Now, he didn't beat Suzuki. Suzuki uses a chair. Big shock. Suzuki-gun member using a chair, especially if it's the captain, the leader of Suzuki-gun. Submissions focusing on the shoulder, the taped up shoulder that Yoshihashi has. That was good stuff. Yoshi fought back, but he had the Gotch pile driver for the win. And don't get me wrong. I mean, he got the the butterfly lock and that kind of stuff, and Yoshihashi did, and it wasn't like he just got squashed. But this was probably the one where you're like, okay, I know what's going to happen. Suzuki's going to get a victory. Since he hadn't gotten any points yet, Suzuki had to get 2 points here. Yoshihashi will probably end up winning about 3 matches. But he's had some really, really good showings, especially against Makabe previously. So then Suzuki gets, towards the commentary team. Rocky Romero had bailed. Jado had bailed. That left Kevin Kelly. So Kevin Kelly stared, I don't want to say stared down, but, basically came face-to-face with Suzuki and survived. And I don't blame Kevin Kelly for panicking. I would panic if Suzuki got near me like that. Then we go to Makabe versus Evil. Good match. This isn't the best match that I've seen between them, even like this year. But it was good stuff. And Makabe losing here was actually the right call because both him and Evil have 4 points. Makabe's gotten 2 very good victories, and the idea is Makabe's had a ton of G1 action over the years. Evil's been in a couple G1 tournaments, but he's had less miles on his body. And maybe it's starting to catch up to Makabe. That's the story they were telling here. It was good, hard hitting, of course, expected. You had a run in the crowd, you had almost like Evil doing a callback to Hiromu, trying to do a running thing, not a running drop kick, not the wrecking ball drop kick, but a running clothesline. And Makabe just stopped it, which I thought was kind of nice. And everything is Evil for the win. I mean, there were other spots and everything, good power spots and stuff like that, but everything is Evil for the win. Good stuff. So, yeah, Makabe at 4 points, Evil at 4 points. This is a match worth watching. It wasn't great, but it is a match worth watching. Easy for me to say. Now, the second match, or this next match, co-main event, or semi-main event, Tanahashi versus Bad Luck Fale. Fale, again, and nothing against Fale as a person. But like a lot of monsters, or at least most monsters, he's limited. This match went a little bit too long. And Tanahashi tried. It had its moments, but it was sloppy at the same time. They didn't work all that well in the New Japan Cup. I forget what day it was. It was day 3 or 4 or something like that. But it was New Japan Cup. And that was where Tanahashi won by countout. That wasn't all that great. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. And you had Tongaloa pull the ref out at one point, right after a high fly flow where Fale almost got pinned. And then he's attacking Tanahashi. Fale's attacking Tanahashi. Tanahashi managed to duck a spot that Fale was going to do while Tongaloa held, him. And then, Tama Tonga runs down. Gun stun. And the referee, this is the funniest part of the goddamn match. It's like, it's almost worth watching just for this match. Or just for this moment. But Red Shoes knew what happened. I mean, he knew he got pulled out of the ring. He was probably already going to hit the DQ anyway, but Fale has Tanahashi covered. And he goes to cover, and just I think Tongaloa are outside. And the ref, Red Shoes, just does this and just calls for the DQ. So, second DQ, and we're only 5 nights in. And it's not often you get a DQ or a countout result in a G1. a lot of times they want to see the fans want to see the wrestlers fight and all this. So yeah, that spot was pretty funny, and Tama Tonga got upset. The thing is like all they're doing is for this. Fale is just kind of the fall guy to advance all this stuff with the Firing Squad and the Golden Elite. And I'm not against it. Tanahashi got the victory. I believe he's up to 4 points. Fale has 0. I don't think Fale is going to get more than 6. And I'm not even sure at this point he might not get any. I mean, it's still a long tournament. I mean, we still got the rest of July, and what is it, the 20th? I mean, still got a number of days left in the tournament just in this month alone. But yeah, so that was kind of funny how Red Shoes did that. So then we go into but this match isn't really worth checking out unless you want to check out the little block matches, then by all means. And then we have Okada versus Hangman Page in the main event. Okada with some very phallic balloons. It was a little weird, but whatever. Okada seems to be having fun. Page was getting mocked at first, and he didn't like it. Okada was taking him lightly. Then Okada ends up going to the outside. Like Hangman throws him to the outside and then does a dive. And it's almost like he did a dive in like a roll because Okada was still on the floor. And that was good stuff. Hangman versus Sonata would also be a very fun match to see. So anyway, but yeah, Okada and Page cut a good pace here. Page really did arrive. He had a few buckshot clotheslines, lariats, whatever you want to call them. Good stuff. He almost got the rite of passage, not quite. He did have a good showing. Okada did get the victory. Rainmaker for the win. Page has nothing to be ashamed of, though. He's got 2 points. Okada's now got 2 points. But Page is I think Page may end up with 5 victories here. Okada's going to end up probably with about 5, so they may end up tied. But I see some big things for Hangman Page. He really has shined. Him and Jay White had a really good match at Strong Style Evolved, I thought, even though the crowd kind of shit on, social media kind of shit on, even though they were pretty good. But anyway, that was it was good stuff. This is a B event. It's not anything where like, okay, any match that you watch is a blow away match. But it's enjoyable, and it's an enjoyable night of action. It was under 3 hours. Like it was, I think by the time I even started my review, it was like 5:20 a.m. So I think it went like 2 hours and 50 minutes. So it was worth it. It was good stuff. Enjoyed it. So what do you guys think of the A block, B block action so far? Who you guys got? Who do you think's going to win the A block? Let's just focus on the A block. Who do you think is going to win the A block? Who do you think it's going to end up in a tie? What do you think is going to happen? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter link in the description. It's been Real Aussie with John Ritland, and I will be back for Night 6 of the G1 Glorious Climax.